Let me know how you're doing in the comments, and today and across this month we're going to be talking to religious individuals about evil. Throughout all different types of media, it is inconsistent. I want to know what evil is. Let's call up some religious people and let's ask them.
Hi.
Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, my name is Sabian. I'm looking for Imam Abdul Qadir.
Yeah, speaking.
I really appreciate the fact that everyone that I've spoken to all agrees that it comes down to common roots.
Absolutely, yeah. We've got three creatures. We've got the human being. We've got the Jinn kind, also known as demon kind.
Okay.
We also got the third creature, which is the angelic being.
So do demons take the form of spirits, like ghosts, or are they?
No, they got their own shapes.
Yeah.
The good thing is that God has taken that ability from human being to see demons, right? So if you were standing there and you're able to see a demon, you would not kind of be healthy anymore. Yeah, it's not healthy for you either. So you can't take that kind of. We don't have the ability to stand and face a demon. Their image is so horrific that you can't stand it. It might harm you. So because of that, God has taken that ability from us to see demons. But they're always around us. Can they touch us? Can they harm us? Answer to that is yes, they can in certain situations. This is why in Islam we are encouraged to say those supplication, as I've given the example earlier.
And if you forget to do so, then you leave yourself at risk?
Yeah. So you cannot be possessed if you have the.
And the filthier that you are, the more likely you are to be hurt by a demon or something.
More exposed you are.
Okay.
And situations where there is music, where there is alcohol, where there is filth, situations where there is a congregation of men and women and music, a combination of music and alcohol and all this. This is what kind of attracts demons. In a sense, so this is what they like. So if you're doing that, if you are in their presence, and most importantly, when you lose consciousness, for example, if you're drinking, what happened? You kind of lose your mind, right? You don't have full control of your mind. So it gives the opportunity for the demon to kind of possess you and take over because you don't have full awareness of yourself.
So when people make like really poor decisions when they're under the influence of alcohol or something, it could be a demon, like influencing. Yeah,
not necessarily, but that's just you exposing yourself by not being fully aware of what's going on around you. You're exposing yourself and being in a vulnerable state.
Of course,
you could be possessed by a demon.
Pardon my ignorance. I am still like juggling multiple religious beliefs in my brain, trying to like piece together the puzzle. You know.
No, you're doing a great job, to be honest, Sapien.
I'm just trying to learn. All right. Well, so that's really scary. So do demons possess anyone? Like, is there possessions? Is there like an exorcism or anything in the Muslim religion?
Yep, absolutely. So the idea of possession does exist in Islam. So demons can possess, and when that happens, there are people that specialize in exorcism. So not necessarily imams. So these are imams plus. So those people that have actually taken this and specialize in exorcism.
Okay.
Certain verses that you need to recite.
What are they called?
They are called Raqi.
Okay.
Raqi, which means the exorcist. So that's what they do, and they specialize in that. So they know all the bits.
And that still happens today.
To it does happen still. So one of my very close friends are an exorcist, even though I don't practice it myself. there are certain qualities that you need to keep yourself. You as an exorcist, as a raqi, you always need to keep cleanness, right? So there's no room for you to be possessed as well. You need to protect yourself prior. So it's a big job.
So they have to take special care to keep themselves clean.
Absolutely.
Because they're seeking out these demons rather than just standard avoidance.
Yeah, it might be reversed. They might come, the demons are...
it could attract the demons, right? So,
yeah.
So the cleaner you are, the less likely you are to have negative effects when you're exercising or something. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
It sounds like the Islamic demons are way more terrifying than anything I've heard of. They are so powerful.
Yeah,
they're so powerful that God said, no, you can't have that much power. Like,
True.
oh, wow. That's so cool.
What you notice, Sapien, is that we are the one that actually allow for the demons to... We created the environment for them to possess us or to allow them to hurt us. So
you're making me want to have a shower, man. Like, I just want to. I don't want the demons.
It's not just the cleanness. It's just more to it, in a sense that.
Yeah.
So there's a saying of the Prophet. This is amazing, yeah. So a human can actually possess a demon.
What?
Believe it or not. Oh yeah. So this is how a human is more powerful than a demon, and how he does that is the more he actually reads the Quran. So the Quran is how we fight the devil. So when we're doing an exorcism, we're using the Quran. We're not using anything else. We're reading the verses from the Quran. We're reading the verses that are specific to cast the devils out.
Okay.
So when we read more and more and more, so the human can actually he can surpass the demon and go to their world and possess another demon. But this is just beyond. It's a different level. I don't want to scare you too much, but
I mean, it's not scaring me because it's not of my belief. I just find it really interesting.
Yeah. So the point is, I guess we shouldn't really be scared of demons. We shouldn't be scared of what they will do to us, as long as we protect ourselves with proper remembrance of God, with reading the verses of the Quran and keeping ourselves clean and keeping away from those environments that attract demons and jinn. We'll be a lot better. We'll be a lot stronger than the demons, and they will be fearing us, not us them. So
if we don't need to fear the demons, we just sort of go on our lives and try to live like a clean life where it doesn't leave us susceptible. And you were saying that there is possessions. How do the possessions affect a human?
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I've seen a few people that are possessed, and it does really affect your daily life, in a sense that you cannot interact with people properly. Often you will find yourself isolated. So you've got those signs that you will see in mental illness, also take place. Again, I want to say that people do not differentiate nowadays between mental illness and possession. This is probably there's a big confusion around that area.
Okay.
So what I always suggest to people is when they come to me saying, look, I've been possessed, and first question that I ask is, did you go to a doctor? Did you seek any medical help in this? Have you seen a doctor about this? What does he say?
Yeah.
And then once you determine, look, there's nothing wrong with you medically, then it doesn't hurt for you to go see an exorcist so that he can actually just check you. Yeah, there's a checkup.
This is the same thing that I was told by the retired exorcist, the Catholic exorcist. They said that they really care about mental health, and they want to make sure that it's not just schizophrenia or something, that they actually is a demon inside them before they proceed. Because you could do more damage to someone who's just mentally ill, and then you put them through whatever the proceeds are for the exorcism. And like, what if they're just like, you're doing more harm by scaring them rather than
curing them?
Yeah, exactly. So it's really cool to see that, especially today, that these, like, across religions, there's still respect for like mental well-being, mental illness, that sort of thing.
No, absolutely. We are in the 21st century, so
Yeah.
I guess things are becoming a lot clearer. While back in the days, things weren't clear. There wasn't mental illness, right? So they would classify everything as possession. Oh, he's been possessed. He's been possessed.
Yeah.
So they would assume immediately this is possession. But now we can actually just pinpoint if it is it's a mental illness. Yes, this is the way to go about it. If the person feels, see, the thing with Quran is you can go seek a Iraqi exorcist, and not necessarily that you have a demon inside you. So the Quran just does calm you, so you can benefit from that. But we still want people to be treated properly.
Yeah.
It's mental illness. You need to be seen by a psychiatrist, by a proper psychiatrist also.
It is really humbling to hear so many different religions actually just coming together and going, yeah, no, this is a separate issue.
Absolutely.
That's really cool. That's not what I was expecting across, especially from my preconceived notions of like Catholicism and stuff. I thought that they would still be very adamant to just be like, oh, it's all demon possession. Mental health is demon possession. But no, it's very much like they understand like where they are. They understand more. They sort of respect the science behind it, and it's really cool to see that that there are similarities.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I agree.
It's like bringing everyone together. It's really cool.
Yeah, well, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to get to know each other and share information with each other and help one another, as God Himself taught us. Help your fellow human beings live together harmoniously, regardless of your race and your beliefs or your ethnicity. Your Lord is one, and this is what He said, and this is what we shall do.
Okay. So, are there any sins in your religion? If so, what are they? We interrupt this program to thank our members on Patreon. Your contribution helps Scarabic Enterprises as a whole. All tiers are equal in benefits, and the entry is only $1 USD. We even have shadow tiers for those who do not wish to be named but want to show their support. Join now. Our Patreon link is in the description.
Yeah, so in Islam...
Or are they even called sins?
Yeah, there are sins. So the concept of sin is central to Islamic ethics and morality.
Okay.
There are different types and degrees of sins in Islam as well. So often categorized into two. So major sins and minor sins. So we've got big sins that are like big. These ones are serious. And the little ones are called minor sins. So the example of the major sins is like murder, for example. This is big.
I read that murder is basically the number one. You do not want to do that.
Yeah, you do not want to do that.
Yeah.
So
and taking your own life, which is self-murder.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Yes, apparently that's like the worst. Is from what I've read. That's all I know about the. That's the extent of my knowledge. Essentially, from here on in, I'm just a baby stumbling in the darkness.
Yep. So there are a few actually, but prior to murder, there is associated partners with God. So God classifies that as the biggest sin because, see, when God created us, and He wanted from us to just acknowledge Him as a creator, right?
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of who He is and what name we've given Him, let's just call Him God. And He said, "Look, I want you to worship me. This is why I created you." And we went back to kind of associate with Him to make other partners. We became we made multiple gods next to Him. So He classifies that as a major sin before murder, and then you got murder after that. Obviously, adultery.
So I guess it's offensive to God that He created something and they chose to take it away.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like betrayal, doesn't it? If
I've
done something good to you, and all I've asked is that for you to acknowledge me.
Yeah.
You went back, instead of acknowledging me, you kind of forgot about me. In fact, you disobeyed me.
Yeah.
And you associated others with me in my place. So I'll be very furious in that sense.
Okay.
Yeah, false testimony is also a major sin. False testimony. Usury is seen one of the big sins in Islam. The idea of interest and usury. And most importantly, disobeying your
What
parents.
is usury?
Usury is interest. So taking interest from people. So when you, back in the days, what they used to do is the rich, they would kind of give a loan to the poor people. So they would give them $100, for example.
Yeah.
And in a month, they
Oh,
would take-
interest is in like monetary interest.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
Wait, so
Usury
does that mean
interest.
that Muslims cannot use specific type of bank accounts because they gain interest?
Absolutely. We are not allowed to because the religion does not allow us to. And because it is classified as a major sin.
Wow. Okay, good to know.
Even though there's benefit, yes. So, for
Like,
example...
of course, yeah, but that
Yeah.
would be the temptation. That would be...
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you got $1,000, you put it in the bank in a month. If you make, in, say, whatever, $20,
Yeah, okay.
that's something, right? That's money. And if you got 1 million, then it's, I don't know, 20,000. So, even though there's benefit, we are not allowed to touch it.
You're not allowed
because
to partake in that because
we're not
of
allowed
that.
to take it.
So when
Yeah.
it comes to business, it's very
Very hard.
it's very transactional and
Yeah.
like certain places still operating on trade.
Well, nowadays, believe it or not, NAB has actually started something. The NAB, the National Bank, started something called the halal interest-free loans and stuff like that. So
Oh.
other banks are kind of engaging in that because there is just a niche. Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah,
Muslim
and of course, as a
business
big
owners in-
business, you want to be able to
accommodate,
provide for
yeah.
everybody. So yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
no, that makes sense. That's actually really cool that they're doing that.
Yeah. Do you know what's the biggest sin sapient? Disobeying your parents. So in
Wow.
Islam, that is classified as a major sin. So when you are disobeying your parents, when you are not being nice to your parents, when you are upsetting your parents, that's a big, big sin. And God does
I
not
think I
like
might be going to hell.
that.
I was a terrible
Yeah.
child, but I
Nah,
wasn't
you
I
sound-
wasn't raised in a religious household, so
Okay, no, you sound like a good child, man. Okay, so minor sins are like, like gossips, or negligence in worship. Little things.
I don't
that
like
doesn't
gossip
kind of-
myself.
Yeah.
I 100% agree that is a sin because it can lead to
Absolutely.
rumor could destroy lives, like
Yeah, it can, absolutely.
because misinformation or just if you've got like ill intent behind it and you just say, oh, so and so did this,
Yeah.
then all of a
It
sudden
leads to
everyone
bigger sin.
starts talking, and then that person is like now shunned in the community for why,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I can
because of
understand
what
that
you've
being
done.
a sin.
Yeah. I mean, it could be classified as major if it leads to kind of greater problems.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
That's why we say small lies, small gossips. These little things that doesn't kind of harm anyone.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you got the idea. So you got minor sins and major sins. And what happened is there is another type of sin that is sins between people. So if a sin involves harming another person, like lying or theft or slander, repentance must be accompanied by making amends with the victim himself first, right?
Yeah.
So before you seek, for example, forgiveness from God, you have to go to that person and acknowledge what you've done, right? You have to seek forgiveness from that person. When he forgives you, then God will actually forgive you after that. So it's not enough that you seek forgiveness from God when you commit this particular type of sin, because another person is involved. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not currently talking about anything that is happening right now. I'm just saying in general. I don't have a leg to stand on because I'm not involved in any conflicts. I'm not on any side in any parts of any wars that are happening in the world. But in wartime, does the sins still apply for murder if you're protecting your country or your people or...
No, absolutely not. So when you're fighting for your country, suppose we got invaded here, all the Muslims gear up, they are in the front line. When they have to kill in order to defend Australia, in order to defend their country, in order to defend their family, that is that is one of the most noblest acts in Islam. So when you're defending yourself, your
So
family,
self-defense
your country,
is justified.
absolutely.
Oh,
'Cause
so
someone's
it's
coming
not
to
just
kill you.
blind faith when it comes to like
Murder.
because like murder is a serious thing. One,
Yeah.
it's got like bad intention. There's also manslaughter and everything, which would also probably be under the same sort of sin, right? Even
Yeah,
if it's
yeah.
unintentional, taking someone's life would still be a major sin, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So
But if
murder-
it's in defense of yourself, your family, or you're saving someone, then that way it's justified.
it wouldn't be classified as murder. I guess it would be a
Yeah.
self-defense.
Okay, cool. So
again, I mean, wars are wars anyway. So this is
yeah,
where,
what was
both
tragic?
sides
They're
are.
horrible, and I
Yeah.
personally believe they shouldn't just happen.
Yeah.
People should try to get along a bit better. But that's the only stance I take. I can't take sides with
Unfortunately, yeah.
anyone because I don't have any skin in the game, you know. So,
Absolutely, yeah.
but it's just tragic seeing any loss of life anywhere. So.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, though. That there is a boundary, which is really cool to see, because throughout history, there's been like quite a lot of like conquest and stuff that has happened throughout history. There was like Arabic armies and stuff like that that were. I can't remember. Like, is there still sultans?
No, at the moment, yeah, there's a Sultanate of Oman.
Yeah,
So you know the country Oman.
I do not. I'm not aware of it.
Oman is next to Yemen and next to Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
There's
next to Yemen. Yeah, I know
yeah,
Yemen.
So there's a sultan there, and there is the Brunei as well. Brunei's got a sultan.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a few
So
countries
there's a few
still
that are still out there. That's cool. But
So
yeah, like
just
in
relation
history,
to murder, when it comes to war, the Prophet, peace be upon him, was very specific when he gave an advice to the army. He would say, "Do not kill any woman, do not kill any child, do not kill any old male or female, do not cut
Yeah.
a tree, do not
cut a tree."
do not cut a tree because a tree is beneficial to the society. You
Okay.
cut a tree, well, what would you benefit by cutting a tree? How
A
does that
timber?
help your cause? I don't
Maybe.
understand. So you would tell them, because conquerors would do that, right? Normal conquerors would look into the Romans and all other
Where they sort of
empires.
decimate the land. And,
Yeah, they decimate,
Yeah.
they destruct. All they do is destruction, and they have to ruin the entire city, right? Make
Yeah.
it useless, uninhabitable for people to go back to, right? The idea of war in Islam was entirely different. So
kind
he
of
would be very
how
specific in
certain
saying
wars, what they would do was they would kill off all the livestock. This happened in World War II as well,
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
just shot all of the cows and the
Yeah.
everything, let them rot, so then the soldiers
Yeah.
would starve if they ever got back there. You know, so.
Yeah,
That
so
was
very
that's
neat.
pretty brutal. That's like
That was very
hardcore tactics. But in the Muslim religion, you don't do that because
We
it's
don't do that.
it's
So they-
disrespectful. It's
Yeah, his
it's a
words
sin.
were very, very, very specific, and it's the words of the commander of that time. So they're
it's
not just
incredibly
following the
respectful.
religion.
That's cool.
Yeah. So there you only, and he added to say you only defend yourself when someone raises their sword to kill you.
Yes.
So in essence, it was entirely self-defense, and yeah.
Oh, cool. So I think you've already answered one of the questions, which was how does your religion differ from other religions based in the same historical roots? But I believe we've already answered that.
Well, can I just add on that a little bit, if you don't
Of course,
mind?
yeah, no, I've got time.
I would like to kind of rephrase that question. What are the, similarities that we have with other religions? I don't see the religion of Islam to be different. It's just misunderstood at the moment, or possibly misrepresented by Muslims. So, two things to differentiate is Islam is one, and Muslims are also one. So what Muslims do not necessarily kind of reflect. So when Muslims do bad things, it's not to say that Islam is bad. Yeah, they're people, they're bad people. Muslims have bad people and they have good people. They've got evil people. We've been talking about evil and good, right?
Well, you could say that
So-
about anyone. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
good,
so-
there's bad.
All countries, all races, all religions, and they have good and bad. So they got good people, and you can have good people and bad people in one household. So it's not a it's not a big thing, So I see Islam to be to have a lot a lot more similarities with all religions, with all Abrahamic religions. In fact, the similarities outweigh the differences. Look into Abraham, for example. We believe in the book of look at Moses, for example. The Muslims believe in the Torah. That is the very book that was given to Moses.
Yep.
So we believe in that.
And Moses was a Hebrew, right?
Yeah, Moses was a Hebrew, so he was the prophet that was sent to the children of Israel.
Okay.
So we believe in that. In fact, Moses is one of the mighty prophets of Islam. So you will have a Muslim person whose name is Moses, and there's no problem with that. He's one of the most beloved prophets of Islam. And likewise, David was given the Psalms of David. We believe in the book of David as well, and he's a mighty prophet of Islam. And Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, we also believe in the book that he came with. So I see ourselves having a lot more similarities than the differences. It's just a matter of coming down and sitting in one table and kind of, getting to know each other better, right? This is what we're missing, I think.
So you wish for everyone to just sort of put up and actually just talk it out.
Absolutely.
I'm on board with that, because it sounds it could prevent so much conflict.
Absolutely. So that's what God wants from us.
I feel as though across history, in current times, and possibly even in the future, a lot of what is happening is not even due to like a misunderstanding of religion or anything like that. I mean, there definitely was in history, but I would say that a lot of the conflicts mainly arise from the bad seeds in society that think more in regards to like greed, in regards to power. I don't think that the people that fight in the wars, or the people that are suffering and getting killed in the wars, I don't think that their deaths were necessary to accomplish any goal. And it's just really sad to see that, especially with all the similarities between all of the religions, people call them like a religious war or something like that, where at the end of the day it's just politics. It's not religion, it's politics. It's
personal gains and also power for
but they use religion as a tool, as a weapon, essentially. And that's really scary.
And they've all done that. All religions, without any exception, they've done that. I'm including all religions. So they've kind of used their religion as a front for power, for personal gains, for for throne, for this and that, right? So we can all agree that. I mean, we acknowledge that, but it shouldn't be that way,
Like you're familiar with the medieval ages of like Christian belief. How they would sort of the Crusades, they were scary. They were scary. They would take people from their homes, torture them. If you didn't believe in God, or if you were pagan or anything like that, you were either killed, tortured and killed, or converted, or like have your house burned down, separated from your family. There was so many horrible, unnecessary crimes in the name of God.
Exactly.
But it was really just a fight for power, wasn't it?
Absolutely. So now, just to be clear, it's not the religion that asks of people to do that. The religion is peaceful. All religions are peaceful.
Yes.
Right? Let me just clarify that one more time.
For their intention.
But the people that are kind of want to use the religion for their own personal
crime, for death.
Personal adventures, personal gains. This is where there's they interpret it in their own way that suits them. This is where we get in trouble, and all religions have done that. All religious leaders have done that, rather. So, but in a nutshell, I could say that all religions are peaceful, and no harm would come from a religion itself, but rather the people that kind of were steering the religion somehow used it for their personal.
So I've been very, in terms of like my beliefs and the way that I feel about religion, I generally for the most part of my life, have been fairly ignorant to learning about religion and learning about like the differences and the similarities. I've always been interested, but I've never really done what I'm doing today. Like today and yesterday was literally a shower thought. I was having a shower and I was thinking about like Halloween and stuff, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. So my ignorance when it comes to religious beliefs, and obviously pop culture is going to just throw everything and make it a little bit extra, like supernatural, this, that, whatever else. They sort of stem away from what is like, I mean, they've got creative freedom, right? But what they do is they stem away from a lot of the facts that is across the religions and the beliefs of the people that, you know, basically came up or had these like we were talking about the Jinn and the demons and stuff. I wouldn't have known how powerful they were had I not talked to you. I also wouldn't have known that in modern day society that exorcisms are actually restrained. Like, I mean, sorry, not restrained. They've got restraint when performing exorcisms. As the retired exorcist said, he doesn't even like restrain the person because they could hurt themselves on the restraints, or they could it could essentially make them angrier. It could make the demon more angry as well. So he just does it completely unrestrained. So it's just really, really interesting to see all of this, and I think that I've been so scared of religion because of, well, I guess you could say, social media, extremist groups, especially cults. I've been very scared of cults because you've got religious people, you've got dedicated religious people, then you've got people who take it too far. And they sort of stem away from what the original teachings intend, and they take things very literally, and they start to hurt people, and they're the people I'm scared of. So, it's just... like that's like one of my biggest fears is like just estranged religious cults. Yeah.
We need to be moderate in respecting one another. People are free to believe whatever they want. Our job is to make sure that we provide the people with proper education, such as what you're doing now. We need to include all religions when we give information, listen from one another, learn from one another, get to know each other better. That's a whole idea and concept.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I was very nervous to have this conversation. I was nervous to talk to The Exorcist as well, because I was like, The Exorcist is Catholic, and Catholic, if you think about like the old Irish Catholic, like you're like, oh, this person's going to be really harsh. But, no, I was genuinely really friendly. So I was taken back by how welcoming every single religion was to my questions. And I just, like, no one's tried to convert me or anything. So I think that the possibility, like, this is from a non-religious person, but just talking to everyone, I think that from a non-religious person, I've spoken to everybody, and I believe that there would be peace and common ground that could be gained had, people just sat down, had a conversation, and just sort of stopped fighting amongst each other, and just, like, if you do believe in all the same sort of, the basic gist of, you know, the God and looks over us and everything is God, if that's what you guys choose to believe, then that's fine, you know. There doesn't need to be conflict, there doesn't need to be animosity, and it's really insightful. So I guess in terms of evil and demons and spirits, I think my findings are inconclusive, because there is no distinct evil or any specific answer across the board, because everyone has a different opinion of it. And I think my main question is if there was one true evil, or if every religion manifests and has its own evil that it has to fight itself. I can't find an answer for that question. Do you think that there is one evil, or do you think that it's like one evil being misinterpreted and across the board everyone has their own version of it, or do you think that there is multiple evils that everyone has to face alone?
Okay, so at the moment, the evil has multiplied as we are now, right now.
Okay.
But Lucifer, also known as Iblis, is regarded as the primary source of temptation towards evil.
Yeah.
This is the fundamental belief in Islam. And that happened after refusing to bow to Adam. He was cast out of heaven, and he seeks to lead humans astray. So this is the point. However, Islam teaches us that Satan can only whisper or suggest evil. That's the point that I've actually told you earlier, the free will.
Yes.
So Satan can only whisper to you to do evil. He's not going to force you to do evil. So evil is somehow kind of within us. It's part of us, but we may choose. Why do people do evil things? Because it's there if you want to use it, but you don't necessarily have to use it. In fact, you don't have to use it at all. But when the Satan whispers to you or suggests to you to do evil things, then it kind of activates in you to do evil things.
Kind of like an impulsion.
Yeah.
Or compulsion, sorry.
So, so the fundamental belief in Islam is that Satan is the source, the primary source of all evils.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, this has been very insightful. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you giving me an hour of your time, and
it has been an hour, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
these conversations go on. I've got a lot of editing to do.
Oh well, I wish you all the best, Sapient.
I
Just
really
let me know
appreciate
if you need anything, any more information. Don't hesitate. Just again, priests, exorcists, imams are always around, and don't hesitate to call me or just reach out to me if you need anything else. And do send me that link to the YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there any is there anything you would wish to say to people in general?
Look, probably they've heard enough. I think they could make their own conclusion. I would always not suggest. I would recommend that people read more about religions and understand and opening the holy books.
So
They're
before
not going to harm you.
performing before getting a conclusion about something, you should be more educated.
Yeah. I mean, don't listen. Don't hear about the religion from other sources. Hear about the religion from the religion itself. The best way for you to do that is if you open the Bible, or if you open the Gospel, or if you open the Quran, right?
I know a lot more now over the last 2 days by contacting religious people than I have in an entire lifetime of just hearsay.
Exactly. So talk to people. If you want to know about Islam, talk to a Muslim person. If I want to know about Christianity, I'll talk to a Christian person. If I want to know about Hindu, I will talk to a Hindu person. If I want to know more about Judaism, I'll talk to a Jewish person. So it's just very simple logic. So people who want to learn more, open the book, visit the mosques, visit the church, visit the temples, and they will provide you with the proper information.
Thank you so much. That has been
my pleasure.
Very enlightening, I should say.
My pleasure, Sapient. Always a pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll send you my YouTube channel. I don't know when this video will come out, but probably October.
Beautiful.
As it's replacing Halloween special, but throughout the month. But thank you again, just so much.
Thank you.
I wish you the best in life, and I hope that other people can learn from your teachings, become a lot more peaceful in the way that they act towards themselves and others.
Same to you, Sapient. Take care of yourself, and well done. Great job.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye. See ya.
Bye. A lot of people are really scared of the Muslim religion. I've lost my fear. I am not scared of the Muslim religion. Would still be scared of any extremist group at the same time as any other cult-like influence that is Christian, Catholic, any religious extreme I don't want a part of. That is scary to me. But speaking across several different religions and having a lot more knowledge on what exactly they believe, what exactly what their belief of evil is, and why things are the way that they are in their beliefs, and what the origins are. I feel a lot more educated about it, and I feel like I'm no longer just lost in the dark when it comes to everything. It takes a little bit of the edge off of it. I was very nervous to talk to people because I've been avoiding religion my entire life, basically, except for like the occasional fascination and going, I'd like to know more, but I'm scared to ask. I've spoken to religious people before, and sometimes I'll pry and be like, okay, so why is this, and the inconsistencies and this and that, and I'm quick to point out a lot of because it's really easy to shut down specifically Christianity and Catholicism is really easy to shut them down based on literally just what's written in the Bible. But what their belief is and where it stems itself in history and the roots is very interesting. If you're not a religious person and you just, I don't know, I don't think I can really judge religious people the way that I used to. I feel a lot more enlightened now. I wouldn't say that I am more spiritual or more religious or anything because of this experience. I would just say that I am more educated in religion. So yeah, if I ever do come up with some interesting things to of a religious nature to convey to people, I will now be able to accurately depict how that would function in any given religion. And I would look into it a little bit more before opening my mouth about it. Because I don't want to give misinformation. I don't want to receive misinformation, especially these days where everything is practically misinformation. There is so much out there that is just... it's just fear-mongering and hate speech across all religions, at all religions, because of understanding evil. I feel like instead of concentrating on spirits, devils, demons, evil entities, I would have to say that in understanding evil, it's us. We are the evil ones. We manifest our own evils, and we have fear of the unknown, and that fear of the unknown is how we view the evil in terms of spirits, demons, etc. I'm uncertain and unclear as to whether or not spirits or demons exist. I am uncertain or unclear as to whether God or the devil exists. But what I do know is that humankind is very capable of committing evil. And I think that that's the scariest thing of all. So you guys can enjoy your dressing up. You can enjoy playing Phasmophobia or any sort of horror game or anything that is based in religious spooky stuff. You guys can go and do that. I mean, I definitely have in the past. I probably will in the future. But this Halloween, it's just taking an inner look at myself, at society, where we are today and where we're going to be tomorrow. And we need to stop. We need to improve. We need to be better. I don't believe that you necessarily need religion to do that, but if you find solace in religion and it is in a peaceful way and it doesn't affect others and it doesn't harm anybody, it's not putting anyone out of pocket and it's not taking advantage of anyone, then I think that's fine. I used to be of the opinion that how can a grown adult person be dedicated to something that is not proven to be real? Whereas now I understand there's more of a cultural significance to it, and I feel as though I've grown as a person. From a random shower thought to speaking and reaching out across like 50 phone calls to various religions, I feel good, but I'm also terrified for humanity. Not because of religion, but because of misunderstandings. I agree with Abdul when it comes to this. All the religions need to sit down together and agree on something. Happy Halloween.